Here I'm going to do the layout for the Windsor leg that I'm going to turn. It's a standard baluster leg that I like to turn. I'm marking out the major diameters so that I can go ahead and cut them all to size, which will help me locate all the different elements on the leg. Notice the long shavings that are coming off of the parting tool. It's a good sign that I've got a nice shearing cut going, and that I'm not just scraping my way through this, which is really going to be the start of the nasty vibration we all want to avoid when we're doing lathe turning. Next I'm going to take my skew and I'm going to mark the center of each of those cuts. As I go to shape these different parts, that will help me to keep a good eye on that diameter so I don't lose it. And now it's time for my rough and gouge, and I'm going to go in and as quickly as I can establish these major shapes that are going to define this leg. I always do this all in the same order for every leg. You'll notice I try and do as much with each tool that I pick up in my hand as I can. That's a real time saver, and it helps keep you from getting confused reaching for tool after tool after tool. And this one tool alone can really start to identify just about all those shapes. As you're about to see here, even though I'm not going to do a very refined half bead here, right here, you'll see I've still located it. I've still given the idea that it's going to be there. Same idea down here. Gotta get rid of some of this meat off the bottom of the leg here. I'm going to go in and start to establish these finer details, not to their final size or anything, but just enough to let me know they're supposed to be there and about what size they're going to be. That's a real helpful thing to have. You can see just about all the details are represented now. So I need to come back in and I need to do a final location on those and see how well I did on my guess. Yeah, it looks like I did pretty good. Now I'm going to need to size those details specifically, so I'm going to go back in and cut them. Real important when you start cutting smaller details in there that you're very careful to take a light shearing cut with that parting tool. Otherwise you're very likely to get vibration that's going to haunt you for the rest of the turning. I've got an old-fashioned lathe, and that means it's time to change belts and slow this down so I can do some of the detail work. I'm going to come in with a small detail gouge. I'm going to try and use it in as many different ways as I can to define these pieces of this internal detailing. And go ahead and cut this cove right here in the middle. Everything except for the cove itself is going to get cleaned up later with the skew. For right now, this cove is my main destination. I really want to get it to the right size and get it to a finished quality. Started learning to turn this part of the leg first, as far as details go, because this was the part I was most likely to screw up on. And I figured I wanted to do it the first few minutes rather than the last few. And the habit just stayed with me. Roll that little half bead, and it's all there. Now I'm going to move to the top of the leg. The video's about to end because I ran out of memory card, but I'll get back to how I finish out the top of this one, and then we're going to go in later videos and show how I do that skew work.